Hi guys, and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I would actually like to show you guys what I've been up to. I've been having a blast building my own custom neighborhood, and yeah, I have really enjoyed doing this. I hope that I will be able to put this up for download. I didn't use any custom content. The only mods that I used were things that you can remove, that is safe to remove, that you just use when you're building something like this. But otherwise it's going to be custom content free. I think you will not be able to get married in the church or on a community lot if you do not have a mod for that. But you could easily play without it. You just will have to pretend that the wedding arch in the church is there for some other reason then. That's literally the only thing that I feel would be something you need. Also, I do have a camera mod installed. As you guys can see, you can see much more of the neighborhood. And that is something that you could probably play without, but I would suggest. So I'm not sure how much you see of this neighborhood when you do not have the camera mod. I tried to build within the area that I'm sure you should see, but just for in case, a camera mod would be nice. Welcome to Azure Peaks. May you enjoy your stay. Don't look at me like that. There are lots of nice Sims here. I promise. Don't feel shy. You will like them all a lot, even if some of them act out a bit. They will crawl into your heart and you will get extremely attached to them. Some of the characters are very colorful, so don't forget to read every family and individual Sim's bio. Even the townies each have a bio. This will give a lot of details and an interesting backstory. Each household has their photo album with some pictures and descriptions for you to enjoy and learn more about the neighborhood. There's no recommended play order. You can just start off wherever you'd like. Each household starts on Tuesday morning. Good luck with all the drama. Now don't worry, there's wholesome households too. Well, somewhat. Hope you enjoy helping them develop and grow into the best versions of themselves. So that's my little teaser for the neighborhood. But of course, each family has their own album, has their own bios that you can read, that you can start off with. So don't forget to do that, because that will just give you a good background. I used a map that comes with the neighborhoods already with the game called Alpenlock, and I did need to edit it slightly here and there just to because it has some strange levels in some areas, and I didn't want the road to look strange. So I did edit it here and there, but everything should display correctly for you. And I'm going to just give you a quick tour. So let's start off with my vision for this neighborhood. You'll see over here I have an area that looks like a downtown, but it's just alluding to the fact that downtown is in that direction. So I kind of created a partial part of buildings that you would see in the distance, just to show you that downtown is that way. And then on this side, close to the lake, I have I have one farm and some farmland. And this is deco, of course. But the farmland that I have next to it is made up of the sunflowers that you get in-game. So, I mean, how functional it would really be, I don't know. I guess you could go water it if your son wanted to own it or something like that. But it's more to add to the house next to it, the farmhouse, where you can actually grow things. And then, you can pretend that that's part of the form. So that was kind of my idea for close to the water. As if this part of the neighborhood is supposed to kind of be underdeveloped. It's still a bit rural, and not many people live out to this side. And then on the other side over here at the lake, I have 2 community lots because I feel like when you have something like this in your area, businesses will definitely capitalize on it. So on this side, we have Blue View Formal Dining, and we also have the Lakeview Spa. So let's hop into some of the community lots that I created for this neighborhood. They're in no other neighborhood. They're completely new, built by me from scratch. So the Blue View Formal Dining says style and unforgettable dining. That's our motto. Don't waste your time with other establishments when you can experience cuisine at its finest. So the idea is that you have a view out over the lake from the deck. Then the Lakeview Spa. It says, what's better than getting a massage? Getting a massage while looking out over the lake, of course. Our specialists know how to make all your tight muscles melt away. So don't delay, visit us today. Yes, it rhymes, I know. All right, so those are 2 community lots. Other community lots I have the church over here, which is a business that's owned by the pastor. So the idea with the church, I will show you, I will go into the lots a little bit, but the idea with the church is that there's also a area with a banquet table, and you could possibly have events there if you wanted to. It has a nice area for that on the outside, so maybe not in winter. And it does have the wedding arch, so you could host weddings there. The pastor lives right next to it. And across we have the Peaceful Rest Cemetery. So the cemetery says, you can now rest easy in the knowledge that your loved ones are resting easy under the tall trees. We are there to support you with funeral arrangements. Okay. There's no graves in this neighborhood so far. I just feel like it kind of complicates things if you add them, because sometimes they can disappear and all types of things like that. And I didn't want to go down that route. So there's absolutely no graves in this neighborhood, but you can use this as your graveyard. All right. Let's quickly take a look at our other lots for community. We have the Azure Peaks Medical Center. Now you can decide if you want to have a doctor or someone own this lot. At the moment, if you're just playing vanilla, there isn't as much that you can do on the medical lot. So that would be really your imagination that you have to use over here. Unless you download some CC with, I don't know, bioinsoluble medicine or things like that, then you could possibly use it. But it's built completely usable as a business if you wanted to. It says, Azure Peaks Medical Center, in pain, need a doctor. Our medical center has caring staff and is ready to take care of all your medical needs. Next to it, we have the library. This library has beautiful gardens, by the way. So I made note of that. It said, reading and research. This is the place to be. With our amazing gardens, this is a wonderful place for a book club picnic or to curl up on a bench with an amazing book in a quiet corner of the garden. Okay, so this is one of my favorite builds. It really turned out quite nicely, if I do say so myself. And then across from that, we have the Hobby Hub, which reads, come and enjoy your favorite activities with friends and get to know more of your neighbors while having fun. Now, the only thing I will mention with this, of course, you can just go fishing or something like that if you wanted to. But something to note is in a vanilla game, your Sims do not build skills on community lots. So they can go paint, but they're probably not going to get any skills from it unless you have a mod. Now, in my regular gameplay, I do always install that mod for myself because I feel like it makes such a big difference. So that's something I recommend, but you don't specifically need it in order to play this neighborhood. All right, so that's the hobby hub. Next to it, we have Pets of the World. It says, at Pets of the World, our first priority is you. Affordable, healthy pets and affordable, healthy pet food for all our furry and finely feathered friends. Okay, and of course you can own that as a business too. At the moment it's just a pet shop regularly. Then you have Bowl Till You Drop, which is the bowling alley, and that reads, okay, so we don't want you to actually drop dead while bowling, but come and visit our drop dead gorgeous bowling alley and experience entertainment to die for. No pun intended, okay? I must have been very giggly when I built this. Alright, then we have Dance Till You Drop. So it's Bowl Till You Drop and Dance Till You Drop. I guess you could make the same person own that if you wanted to. It says, with amazing music and cool vibes, you will soon understand why no party is a party unless you party at Dance Till You Drop. Come and hang out at the hottest hub in the area. Okay, don't ask me how I came up with this color scheme. I must have been completely crazy, but it did turn out nice. Nice looking, if I do say so myself. Then this is the football field just across from it. And it says, top-notch sport facilities on a world-class level. You won't ever want to visit any other football field once you have tasted our fresh green grass. Hopefully you won't want to taste too much grass. Stay on your feet. Yeah, hopefully you won't be tasting that because then your face is on the ground. All right, across from there, we have two businesses, which I'll show you now. But next to the football field, we have Dress to Impress, which is a clothing store. It says, your suit speaks before you do. Don't get left behind because you don't look your best. Get that job, ace that interview with one of our stylish outfits. You will be glad you did. And then next to that, we have the Family Grocer. That says, Costa's Family Grocer. Hungry? We know exactly what you need. Don't delay. Come and shop with us today. Your fridge will thank you. Okay. Now the two businesses across from this, one of them is already owned by one of our Sims. It's a Happy Home appliance store. And then the other one, the idea was that you can create a Sim to own it, or you can decide if you want one of the Sims that I created for you to own this business. And this is Mr. Fantastic Furniture Store. It says, Mr. Fantastic started this furniture store many years ago, and even though it has been sold many times over the years, our commitment to great service stays the same. Okay, so we'll get back to the owned businesses in a little bit. I just want to show you the regular community lots for now. This one is Azure Peaks High School. So of course you can let someone own this if you wanted to. At the moment it's not owned. I enjoy the school mods that you can download for Sims 2. But you could play this regularly if you wanted to just use this as a rabbit hole, or you want to just have your teen Sims meet up there or something like that. You could do that. It's up to you how you want to play it. You don't require any mods to play it like that. But if you wanted to, there's a lot of nice mods out there for schools if you want to run functional schools. So this one just says, our students start life with the brightest futures. They are equipped and ready to grasp wonderful opportunities with both hands. Then next to that, we have Azure Peaks Mini Mall. So this has a combination of stores in it as well as a restaurant. It says, not in the mood to drive from store to store. We have the answer. Everything you can possibly need under one roof. What are you waiting for? So we'll take a closer look. I will show you what stores I have in there. Across from that, we have both a roller rink as well as an ice rink. They're together. It's open air. And it says, we would prefer you skate rather than slip, but to each their own. Don't feel like ice skating? Don't worry. Try on our roller skates for size instead. Bring your friend. Okay. So that's a nice area to maybe send your teens. Next to that, there's another owned business that's called Little Pink Feet Corporation. So that's the baby store where you can actually buy cribs and things like that. And then across from that, we have Eat Your Full Grill restaurant. It's not owned by anyone. Of course, you can make it owned if you want to, but this one is just regular for your Sims to go eat at. It says, all you can eat. Come and relax in our lovely restaurant. The freshest veggies and the most marvelous meat melting in your mouth. Yes, I did want to repeat the M sound. Desserts that will make you faint in anticipation. Okay, so there you have a restaurant. And then over here we have Azure Park. So that's just a park where you can send your Sims to go and relax. Kids can play. It says, Azure Park brings you a calm, natural atmosphere to relax in. Let your children play and enjoy the fresh air while your dog chases the neighbor's cat across the park. Across from that, we have Azure Peaks Primary School. So again, you could do that the same way as the secondary school. And this one reads, the primary school offers small class sizes and fully qualified staff facilitating your child to optimally cover our comprehensive curriculum. Actually, let's stop with the mumbo jumbo. We teach your kid what he needs to know. So there we go. And let me just check if I showed you all. I really think these are all the community lots. Now, before I show you the owned businesses, I do have someone who's not really running a business from his home, but you could potentially change it into that if you wanted to. I wanted to give you the freedom. This home over here is supposed to be a bird sanctuary. So I placed 4 birds in this home with a family who lives there. And if you wanted to turn that into something that's sellable, I guess you could do that. I've never attempted to really sell the birds to anyone, but perhaps the bird cage, if you did something like that. So that's an option that I'm just mentioning to you. But at the moment, it's just basically a residential lot with 4 birds with the family, and they're just taking care of the birds. So you can decide how you would like to run that. All right, the ownable businesses. So we have Happy Home Appliance Store that's owned by a very rich old gentleman that I'll show you in a minute. Then we have the Little Pink Feet Corporation baby store that's owned by quite a wealthy lady. And then we have the church that's owned by the pastor. You can decide how you would like to run that. Wedding venue style or just a venue. Or if you are a storyteller, that would be very good for pictures, sending everyone there on a Sunday and taking photos, something like that. It's up to you. Okay, so those are the businesses that's owned at the moment. But of course, there's the restaurants, the spa. You could decide if you wanted someone to own that as well. So, without further ado, I think we should actually get into the Sims. Alright, themselves. I think we should perhaps start over here. Let's start over here. This is supposed to be a section of kind of wealthy homes that I created. And I also left you 2 plots that you could build. You could potentially add something here if you wanted to. I only moved in 1 family over here, and I decided that this is free reign for you to do as you please. This specific house, I will show you the homes close up later on, but this specific house you could even move more than 1 family into. So, you know, I wanted to create opportunities for you to play the way you would like to. All right, so let's start with this family first. It's also one of our business owners who live here. So this is the Langley family. It's quite a large family to play, but it will make sense to you in a little bit. So we have the patriarch, Alec Langley, and his wife, Faye Langley. Their children are these 2. They have a daughter, Sandra Langley, but she would have had a different last name, you'll understand in a bit. And her little girl, Leonie Langley, living with them. But they also have their son, Jasper Langley, his wife, Kate Langley, and then their teens, Audrey Langley and Alice Langley. So quite a big family. And then the owner of Little Pink Feet Corporation is actually Kate Langley. So, yeah, just so that you know. All right, let's quickly read their description. So it says, Alec Langley and his wife Faye enjoys having their kids and grandkids live with them. Their son Jasper and his wife Kate have been blessed with lovely daughters who are now teenagers. Their daughter Sandra's husband unfortunately went missing when he investigated mysterious lights in the sky. Sandra and little Leonie moved in a while ago. Okay, she's a bit blocked behind grandma. So, yeah, there's a little bit of a mystery for you as well. We'll look at them up close later. I just want to give an overview of the families to you first. On this side, we also have some wealthier homes, although maybe not on the scale as on that side. Some of them might be on equal footing. All right, so this is the McLeod household. Over here we have the mayor, Duncan McLeod. We have the live-in nanny, Ali Jones McLeod. And then we have Duncan's children, Nina McLeod and Blair McLeod. All right. So it says, Duncan is the mayor of this amazing place, and he is very proud of his community. They all stood by him when his wife disappeared 3 years ago. He recently heard news of speculation that she left him and had numerous affairs. He really hopes these claims are false. He needed to appoint a stay-in nanny to help him with the children. Ali Jones seems nice. Hopefully she gets along with the kids. She is rather attractive, but he is trying not to notice. Yeah, so I'm creating a possibility over here for you guys to, let the poor mayor find some love after his wife just upped and left. All right. I was playing with the idea of putting Sims back in, like for instance his wife that doesn't exist, I didn't create a Sim. But I was playing with the idea of maybe having her somewhere and also doing the same with the husband that's missing. But it would create some problems with memories because obviously the memories wouldn't line up. So I decided against it. In the end, of course, you could always create Sims and pretend. Use the Sim Blender and create the family ties as you please. But I'll leave that up to you. I've decided against doing that. All right. So you can see if any romance blossoms over there. Then on this side, we have, this is the one that I mentioned to you about the birds. This is the bird sanctuary. I do have a speed build of this as well, if you'd like to see how I created it. So over here, this is the Gojkovic family. We have Petr Gojkovic, his mother Helena Gojkovic, and then Mihailo Gojkovic. All right. and their description says, Peter has had a good share of heartache, and he just don't want to go down that road again. But who knows what life may have in store for him? The bird sanctuary consumes all his spare time right now, and he wants to be a good father as well. So many responsibilities, so little time. All right, so he is in the natural science career. And I'm just double checking everyone's one true hobby and things like that at this stage. But the idea is that he's completely in the science direction. His mother will be as well. And yeah, I'll show you guys up close what I did with the birds and what I did with their home in a little bit. So that's them. I should mention, or I want to mention as well, that every single sim in this neighborhood, even the townies, have a personalized bio. So I really try to give every character a nice background that you can work from. There's not a lot of townies, but they were handcrafted and really thought out, you know, with care. So I would like it if you made them playable. I think I would if it was me. I would definitely try and make them playable because they're interesting characters as well. All right. Next to them, we have the Kruger family. So in the Kruger family, this is also quite a big family, and I'll just share a behind-the-scenes joke with you. This family did not have a dog, but while I was busy setting up another family, Vicky Kruger went into the pet store and she bought a pet. And the next time I loaded in this lot, because I had some stuff I needed to work on, the game of course asked me, will I take the pet or am I getting rid of the pet that she bought? And I didn't have the heart to say no. So you landed an extra dog, which you wouldn't have had, but it was a cute dog. I just couldn't say no. So anyway, that's just a behind the scenes little joke that I have for you. All right, so we have the patriarch Peyton Kruger and his wife Anya Kruger and their son Brando Kruger. Now Brando is married to Vicky Kruger and they have 2 children, a little toddler called Gordon and a daughter called Shauna, who's a child, and now they have a dog too. Okay, so it says, Brando's parents are concerned. So these 2 are concerned about their son. Since he became an athlete and became well known, he has been flashing money and status left and right. He does not want his wife to work, and she has always wanted to go into medicine. So I'm creating opportunity for you for the medical center here. He bought this flashy home, but didn't bother installing proper security. They worry about how responsible he is being. Well, from here I think you can see, maybe if I zoom in, that they even have their own disco. All right. He really didn't know what to do with his money. And he's splurging left and right. So yeah, that's the little story I went with for this family. And he is, you know, in the athletic career pretty high up. So yeah. Okay, that's them. Across from them, I have the Eardo family. And in this family, we have Loner W. Eardo. And yes, if you put W next to Eardo, it becomes weirdo for a reason. His wife, Barbara Eardo. And then Chaz Eardo, their son, and Wilmy Eardo, their daughter. Okay, so their story is, what better cover for a secret agent than appearing like a weird hoarder nerd? Well, it's even better if you don't have to pretend and you are actually a weird nerdy hoarder. But are the wife and kids just as quirky? So I put in a bit of a quirky family for you to play with. And their house is strange and quirky as well. It's a little fun, tongue-in-cheek moment over there. Then I did something a bit crazy. Next to them, I built a house that's kind of destroyed. The idea is, and I don't think you can see it from here, as easily, but I will show you when we go into the lot. The idea was that it was like a broken down home that's kind of worth something because it's in a good area, that was inherited by two sisters, and now they have to decide what to do with it. I know some people like to play kind of like rags to riches challenges. I thought you could maybe use this lot for something like that. Okay, so the Forrester sisters are over here. And we have Glenda Forrester, who's a journalist, and Amy Forrester, who's in the oceanography career. And they both have the hobby of nature for good reason, because I'm busy setting something up here for you, some potential situation. And this says, two sisters who don't get along get summoned to claim the half-destroyed home they inherited. What should they do with it? Try and fix it? Demolish it? Will they find a reason to stay in the neighborhood, or can they just sell it and go back to their own lives? So yeah, you can decide what you want to do. Something I can mention to you is both these ladies are very interested in the Gojkovic family, who owns the bird sanctuary. They're very much into nature. So, you know, if you want to set up some romantic relationship over there, there's two options for you here. That's pretty good ones. Okay. Across from them, the Callahans, which is a very rich family, live. I also have a speed build of this mansion if you'd like to see how I build it. In this household, we have Meredith Callahan, who's a homemaker. Her husband, Goldman Callahan, who owns the appliance store. So he's the owner of that business. Then their daughter, Delia Callahan, who's a teen. Their son, Ulbert Callahan, who's also a teen. And their little girl, Fran Callahan, who's a child. There's a little Easter egg in this family, but I'm not going to spoil that for you. You can go and explore that yourself, or you will realize soon enough when you start playing them. All right, so it says Meredith and Goldman have a significant age gap, but they love each other dearly. Did she marry him for money? Did he marry her because she was young and wanted to have loads of children with him? Sims may speculate, but the Callahans know that it's true love. If they can just raise all their kids to be, well, normal and regular kids. Of course, it's referring to the black sheep of the family there in the corner, but she's a very lovable sim. I think you guys will really enjoy playing her. It's not a Lilith rip-off, if I can refer to Pleasantview like that. She's very much loved and treasured by her parents. It's just kind of tough because she's, you know, kind of that one of those rebellious teenagers that feel like she has to do her own thing and feels a bit smothered by her parents, but they love her very much. So it's, I think it can be an interesting story. Okay. So that's this street. Then down here, we have, perhaps I should start from this side. So this is the pastor in his home. It says, Pastor Noah is very kind. He is the ideal person to perform community weddings in the area. What about his personal love life? Will everything go as planned? He sure hopes so. Now, I can tell you, never in my life have I struggled so much warding off ladies. This poor man cannot go shopping without someone trying to kiss him. I don't know what it is, but he's actually engaged to a townie that I created, which when I was setting them up, the two of them just couldn't leave each other alone. So I decided that that would be nice. And then you can decide, do you want to make her playable? Do you want to pursue the relationship? But every other girl, whether it's a townie, whether it's someone who's married, it doesn't matter. They're just running after this man and he hardly knows what to do. what to do to ward them off. So yeah, good luck sending him anywhere, because you'll just, if you have ACR, you'll have to set it up really carefully. Otherwise, he's going to have a string of people following him around. All right. So that's him. And then over here, we have the Schmidt family. So it says, Ganz and his family originate from Germany. They have adapted well to their relatively new home. They hope to meet lovely Sims here, and that their daughters will make good friends who share their solid family values. I have a speed build of their home as well. And yeah, I think that they have the potential to be a nice family to play. I did put a little bit of a... in their bios, you will see you really have two loving but very strict parents over here. Then you have the daughter that kind of follows that, and then you have the daughter that doesn't. So, little Ida here is supposed to kind of keep them on their toes. So this is Gans, his wife Mishka, and then Heike, and then little Ida. Okay, so that's... I really tried to represent as many cultures and ethnicities and things as I could over here. Of course, you would have to put in a million Sims to truly reflect our world, but I tried at least. So hopefully everyone will feel like there's someone kind of they're able to relate to. Play them. Okay, so this is the Wellington family. Burke wants lots of pets, but the triplets still keep them busy. He knows they just won't have time for pets right now. Rita feels very fulfilled in her career and home life. She's very satisfied with how everyone is progressing. Hopefully the boys will do well enough to attend university soon. Okay. So, the dad is called Burke, the mom is Rita, and then they have Alan, the eldest, and Rolf, and Holden. So. Alright, over here, this was such a fun house to build. I really enjoyed this house. I can't wait to play it. This is the Hastings family with their cats. And I love this family because specifically their cat Next has the coolest backstory that I've ever come across. Well, I created it myself, but I was very proud of that. It was so much fun, and he crawled into my heart. I think it's my favorite pet in the neighborhood. Okay, so in this household we have Tess Hastings. She's also in the journalism direction. And then we have Mike Hastings, who's an adventurer. And the story I'm going with is that he's not really at home that often because he's traveling a lot and going on digs and adventures. And then they have little Roger Hastings and Meg Hastings. Then their cat Next and Shelby. Okay. So their story says, Mike Hastings isn't at home a lot, but he looks forward to having a nice and large enough family. It's fun coming home to his pretty wife and comfortable home. Is he a bit out of touch with the reality that his wife may not be able to burn the candle at both ends continuously? Will Tess put her foot down at some point? So yeah, he's one of those that's always away, but when he gets home, he kind of expects everything to be, in tip-top shape and everyone to be happy and all that, Not such an easy guy to be married with, I guess. Married to, I guess, but yeah, we'll see. Across from them, I have the Gupta family. So I really tried to, I don't know how successful I was, to represent Indian culture in their house and the way I decorated it. And, just vanilla game, no CC. And then clothing-wise as well, I'm not sure how successful I was, but, I tried. So in this household, we have Patel Gupta, his wife Ananya Gupta. I looked this up to try and have some names with Indian origin, so I'm probably butchering them, but anyway. And then their daughter Asha Gupta, their son Prayan, and then their youngest daughter Arna Gupta. So good luck with the names. I tried, hopefully this is nice, and hopefully it's not too confusing with all the A's. In their bio, it says Patel is actually very shy, but he landed in the entertainment industry as soon as his parents immigrated from India. And since then, he has made so many connections that he has become a household name. It has not stripped him of his traditional views, though. He was very happy when he realized that the woman his parents arranged for him to marry shared his views, and now they have an amazing family together. So this is meant to be a nice, wholesome family. Yes, it was an arranged marriage, but, it ended up being a happy one for him, and yeah, it's like some wholesome gameplay over there. Okay, apartment-wise, I placed apartments that come with the game. I thought that was perhaps the easiest way. I like building apartments, but I've heard that sometimes they can be a bit fiddly, and I'm trying to make this as uncomplicated as possible. So this one is empty, with the idea that you could just place someone in there. I changed, I need to fix this. Okay, I will fix this name. It says Alpenlock Apartments because I used Alpenlock map, but I will change that. So good that I'm noticing that. I changed the names of the apartment buildings. This one now says Nice View Apartments, and the one next to it, I'll check what that one's name is now, so that it's not exactly the same as in the game. But yes, you do have apartment buildings from the game. So I gave you 4 families in this apartment complex to play, or 4 households. They're not all families. The Collins family actually consists of Bethany Collins, her roomie Clarice Natelli, and Britt Grayson, their other roomie. So these are 3 basically single girls that you can play with. And it says Bethany loves her freedom. She jogs around, paints, and parties. That's just the way she likes it. Clarice, this is Clarice, dances up a storm, but behind the starry facade is a fearful sadness. Can anyone break down the walls around her heart? And then you have Britt over here. Britt is a bit weary of continuously rescuing her roomies from their own unwise decisions. She really hopes to settle down with whoever Mr. Right is soon. Okay, so there you go, some singles. Then we have the Summers family. The Summers family consists of Carl Summers, his wife Suzelle Summers, little Tylo Summers, and their daughter Lizelle Summers. So this one says, Carl is so proud of his family, especially his darling wife, and the difference her business makes to the community. Little does he or anyone else know how she truly spends her time. So there's a secret for you to solve. He hopes that Tylo will follow in his footsteps one day. So I've added in the situation where someone is kind of leading a bit of a double life, so you don't know what she's truly up to. Alright, that's the Summers family. The Mason family. Quentin, this is Quentin, and this is Lillian, or Lillian. I think Lillian is probably the way you would pronounce that. And Arlo. Quentin was stationed in Asia when he met his beautiful wife. They were so happy. Unfortunately, she died during the birth of their son. Now Quentin tries to raise their children well, but will there ever be a chance for him to find love again? So he's a single dad, really trying his best to make it, and doing the best that he can for his kids, living in an apartment. And then the Lemang family. So we have 2 sisters, and they each have a child that's living together, making a go of it. We have Kathy Lemang and Lena Zhang. So Kathy Lemang has a daughter called Ling Lemang, And then Lena Zhang has a son called Li Zhang. Okay. Kathy and Lena are sisters. They have lived and raised their kids together ever since their husbands, who were business partners, died in an aircraft accident. Will this always be their way of life, or will they eventually part ways? Okay, so I can tell you this, that, you could potentially have something happen with one of the sisters and Quentin. Okay, I've set it up so that there is potential, but on the other hand, there's plenty of other single people around too. So you have some nice matches that you can try and make in the neighborhood. I always like matching people up, so I hope you will enjoy that too. Then in the apartment building next to that one, we have the Crossroads Apartments. Here we have James Johnson and his dog Oreo. I really like Oreo. He has such a nice personality. I think he will be really a blast to play, actually. So it says, James seems to be much too serious to be in the gaming career. Will he be able to support a family and have a home of his own one day? Will he need to choose between his dream and stability? So, I thought that could be interesting. Like, he's very serious, but he still wants to be a gamer. Okay. Then in that same apartment complex, we again have two sisters. I seem to have liked pairing sisters up in this one, but yeah, I couldn't make everyone just be roomies. So we have Nellie Green and her sister Cynthia Green. And it says Nellie and Cynthia don't always see eye to eye, but they are sisters who share an apartment. Nellie finds James attractive. She has made her feelings known. But will this eventually lead to something more permanent? Cynthia wants to make time for her own special someone. Her job should not take all of her time. Okay. So you already know that Nellie is dating James. So there's a relationship that's going on. James with his dog Oreo and Nellie are dating. But Cynthia is single and would like to meet someone. So you can see who you can pair her up with. Then these two families I left till last on purpose. They drove me crazy when I was setting up the neighborhood because they really messed up my plans. I had very specific ideas for these two households, and it got messed up completely because for some reason they just autonomously did things that I didn't want them to do. But in the end, I actually decided that it made for good storytelling. It made it even more interesting than I had originally planned. So I rolled with it. So the Tonello family, let's take a closer look at them. So this is Zach and his wife Angie. Okay. So it says, Zach couldn't help himself. Every time Angie mentioned babies, his palms became sweaty. He had no idea that she'd stopped taking birth control. Zach had other things on his mind, such as becoming a famous superstar. He would still like nothing better than to star in big movies and have pretty co-stars with loads of steamy love scenes. But now another man has swooped into his wife's life, and Zach thinks it might be too little, too late to save their marriage. Yeah, when you have one person that you intend on being the cheater and the other person ends up cheating. I mean, really. Okay, so now let's look at our final. Well, this is not really our final family. This is our final family in the apartments. We have one more family to look at. The Friends family. So we have Brett Perkins, Llewellyn Blythe, and Boz Frisco. And Boz is the one that messed up everything for me. The other two was relatively innocent, but Boz. Okay, so it says, Brett is so shy. Will he ever have the courage to go on a date with a neighbor? Llewellyn can taste success. He just needs that one big break to get into the music scene. He's our musician. Boz has had enough of his neighbor's horrible behavior. He intends on stepping in and being the man Angie deserves. Oh, and boy did he. Okay, so that's the drama over there. Then our final family that we're going to look at, this corner of the neighborhood, I tried to create kind of the idea that it's kind of, I don't want to say the lower class, but I guess it is the lower class area. It's kind of close to the smog of the city. Not that the others are much further away, but you know. So I put in the trailer park that comes with the neighborhood over here, and then across from them I built a trailer which is rather big, a separate large trailer for one more family. So this is the Blunders family, and they consist of Mikey Blunders, his wife Una Blunders, their daughter Danny Blunders, Jacqueline Blunders, their daughter who's a child, and then their toddlers Hank and William Blunders. And then their bio reads, Mikey and his family thrive in their circumstances, or do they? Mikey may think they are all thriving, but some of his kids may not agree. Una, that's his wife, gave up on her dream a long time ago, but she loves her family, and now she just embraces the chaos. So yeah. It is a little bit chaotic, but I think they can be a fun family to play. They all love each other and get along. But yeah. Okay. So that's the families of the neighborhood. I would like to go in and show you what I've built and what it looks like on a closer scale. I may need to split up the video because otherwise it will just be too long for you guys to watch all of it together. Something that I haven't mentioned before is I also created some, I won't call them starter homes, but I guess, you know, it's kind of homes that you can easily buy or you won't have to save up too much to be able to buy. We have a home like that over here, one over there, and they're across from the high school. Then I left you an open plot of land over here that you can do starter home on if you want to create your own sim, as well as you could use any of these stretches of road to create your own lots. You know, I don't want to just give you everything built and you don't have any space to do your own thing. Here's a home, you know, so it's like just over 20,000 or just under 20. Is what I was aiming for. Here we have one a little bit more expensive. I also created you lots like this. It is not an apartment lot, but you could possibly turn it into one. Or if you just wanted to have a brother and sister basically share a plot of land, but they each have their own home, you could do something like that. So, you know, there's some options. And then this one, just 21,000, and then across there's a 16,000 one, a 31,000, another 16,000, a 23,000, 11,000, and a 15,000 and something, and another open plot of land. So this is kind of supposed to be the area where if a single sim is starting out and you don't want to put them in an apartment, you could possibly move them into an area like that, or maybe a small family living close to the schools. You know, that would kind of make sense. So the difference between these two neighborhoods are that in this one I have removed the apartment lots and I've given you townhouses instead. The idea is to mimic kind of like the specific district that you had in Pleasant View where Sims lived in condos. So I've recreated that just simply because the lots are very fiddly in apartments, and upon playtesting, you know, I ran into some regular bugs that you get and it was kind of irritating. So you have this option as well. You can decide which one you want to download, or if you want to download both, you know, and see which one is best for you. So this one says T house main H, so townhouse main hood. So this is the one with the townhouses. You have the other option, which will say APT apartment main hood. So you can choose between the two, or you could take both if you wanted to. They have different names. The files are named differently, so you know it shouldn't be a problem even if you wanted both. And then in this one with the apartment main hood, the Sims are just living in apartments. It's the regular apartment buildings that come with the game, so nothing is strange there. I've playtested them and they work just like they do in all of the Sims games, but you know, you sometimes have a neighbor getting stuck somewhere and things like that, which is just irritating. So for that reason, I've given you two versions. So you can really decide which one you would like to play. I've playtested both versions and they do both work. I mean, fine, like the game usually would. Yeah. So my aim with this neighborhood was to create characters that you guys can fall in love with. That was really something that I wanted. I wanted to create a neighborhood where you guys get attached to the characters and you can't wait to see what happens next in their lives. And I wanted a neighborhood full of lore and anticipation and excitement, and I also wanted to create a neighborhood that you can replay again and again. That was my aim with this, because it can turn out in so many different ways, and I just think that that's great fun. That's something that keeps me going back to a place like Pleasant View, because every time I play it, something else happens, whether it's Brandy that ends up with Darren, or whether Darren ends up with Cassandra and Brandy ends up marrying someone completely different, or you know, does Dustin go to college? Does he end up with Angela? And I wanted to create a place that stirs up that similar feelings inside of players. That was really my idea behind this, and I hope that I have succeeded in that and that you guys will really look forward to playing this neighborhood again and again. I have some neighborhoods that I've downloaded that I really love. I feel like they're on equal footing than the pre-made neighborhoods. You know, I keep their extra file, blank copy of them, with my files like Pleasant View, because I just feel like I will play them over and over again. And I really hope that people will feel that way about this neighborhood. So that was kind of my idea with the neighborhood and the layout of it. I hope it all makes sense, and I hope you guys will try it out. Give me your feedback. I would really like to hear what you have to say. I will create separate videos where I do like deep dives into each of the families, and then, you know, you guys can get to know them a little bit and tell me what you think of each of them. If you wanted to try and play this, you know, how would you play them? I would love to hear what you say, what you have to say. Please tell me what you think of the neighborhood so far. Do you think this is something that, you know, you would have liked to try out? Or are you just not into downloading neighborhoods? That's fine too. Not everyone likes doing that. I like doing that. Although I haven't downloaded as many over the years, I have a few that became my favorites that I'm holding on to, and I'm playing them just like I play Pleasant View and other pre-made hoods. So thank you for watching, guys, and I hope you will be blessed, happy simming, and enjoy. Take care. Bye-bye.